fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to kind of do a recap of 2025, sort of a 2025 year in review. I finished, I think, 30 kits last year, so I'm going to throw pictures of them up on the screen as I talk about them and kind of go over what I liked, what I didn't, what I think about them, all that kind of good stuff, just so you guys can kind of see what I finished. And honestly, so I can kind of look back on it because just flipping through my logbook here and reading some of the kits, it's like, oh, I thought that one was 2 years ago. Oh, that one feels like I did it just a month or so ago, but it was actually almost at the beginning of the year kind of thing. So I will throw the pictures up on the screen of all the finishes. Hopefully this isn't too boring for you guys. Then I will be back at the end. Let's jump in. So I'm just going to start out doing this in the order that I finished them, I guess, because that makes the most sense. To me anyway. So I'm going to start out with my first finish of 2025, which was actually a kit that I started in 2024, which is my temperature blanket kit. This is something I got from Craft Pack Canada, and my intention had been for it to be kind of half and half. We intended to move, thought we would be moving to Canada in the summer, and it didn't work out that way. We didn't sell our house until October. Actually, it was almost the end of October. So as you can see, a lot of the summer months, May, June, July, August, September, October, are lots and lots of warm temperatures. I have not seen those, as you can see, by November and December. They were pretty cold. So of course, you have to wait until the last day of December before you can finish the kit so that you know what the temperatures were. And so I finished this. I actually have it framed and I'm going to hang it up once I figure out where I want to hang it. The next kit that I finished was one of my spanglers. I had 4 spanglers left for the year, and this was the first one I chose to finish. This one is called Literate Dragon. And as an English teacher, I am very much a book lover. I love to read. I read every day. And I just really liked this little dragon with all the books and everything. So I did that one first. And then after I finished that, I went for, this was actually a kit that I found at a local craft store here in town. And Goofy's always been one of my favorite Disney characters. So I did a Diamond Dots Goofy, just as kind of a filler in between some other kits. This one didn't even, I did it in a day. It took just a couple of hours to finish. So that is something good about the Diamond Dots kits. They're always really good quality and they're usually pretty quick to do. The next one that I finished was called Sip of Sunshine. This is a Bella Art kit. I have several of these teacup ones. I think I have 3, and I did 2 of them last year. So I'll probably be finishing the 3rd one sometime this year. This one is the butterfly with the sun over the mug and everything. I really enjoyed this one. I really like the butterfly, so that one was fun. And then I did another Bella Art kit called Bubble Girl. I actually really love this kit. I loved her hair, and the little octopus I thought was super cute. And it really went pretty quickly. I thought the hair, it was a lot of confetti, and so were the bubbles behind her, but it actually went pretty quickly. So happy with that one. The next one I did was my last Distracted by Diamonds kit, and this one is called Oasis. And I do like it. The skin tones are not perfect. I don't like the big spot of highlight on her shoulder or kind of down the front of her chest, but I think underneath her neck and her face itself, they did a really good job. And it was really interesting to do. Again, her hair was quite a bit of confetti, and the background was actually more confetti than it looks like, but it was a good quality kit, and I really enjoyed doing it. After Oasis, this is another of the teacup ones from Bella Art. This one is called Yarn Crafter's Delight, and you can see the teacup is filled with yarn and crochet hooks, and there's scissors and a needle, so just, you know, things that you would need in order to craft. The next one I did was a small one that I got from Diamond Art Club. I got this one because my nephew loves Marvel, and Groot is one of his favorite characters, and who doesn't love baby Groot, right? This was a smaller one, so it didn't take me very long, but super cute, and I'm glad I finished it. The next one is one from Craftably, one of my few remaining Craftablies. This one is called Midnight Warrior. This was one of my stay or go kits, and I wasn't sure I wanted to keep it because there was so much blue in the background, but it was a Craftably kit, and I ended up really loving it. I love her little mask, and even with all the blue in the background, it was enough confetti that it really kept it interesting. My next finish was one from Bella Safina. I'd never done one of their kits before, and I actually changed this a little bit. There originally was charted kind of a crystal border around it, but it was browns and tans, and I just didn't think it matched the subject matter that well because she's so vibrant and colorful. So I opted not to do that part of the kit. I just did the actual part with all the color and everything. And I really love how she turned out. I loved all the colors in her hair, and I think they did a really good job rendering her skin tone. I love her eyes, so super happy that I tried that one. The next one was one for hubby. He actually picked this one out. This was another one that I bought at the same time I got the Goofy from the local craft store. And this is the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. It's a partial, just the Mandalorian off to the side, and then Baby Yoda himself got diamond painted, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and it's diamond dots, so the drills were nice, and it was great. The next one I finished was one from the set of Art Dot kits that I got. Art Dot sent me a box of 12 different kits, and this is the first one I chose to do. I really liked the image, but wow, was this one a lot of confetti. And I also had some trouble with the drills because it was like the drills were dirty or something. So it was just a struggle to get them placed. But I think it turned out great, the kit itself. The next one that I did was from Dreamer Designs, and this one is called Snowman and Presents. And this one I actually changed some things up. The gold presents were always intended to be gold, but I actually had some metallic gold drills that I had purchased from, I think, DP with Sparklers that I had never used. I think I used them, I was going to say Jules and Verne, but that has to be wrong because I'm pretty sure Jules and Verne was round, but somewhere along the way I purchased them and I had them left over, and I thought, well, this would be a good place to use a bunch of them. So I added a bunch of metallic gold to the presents that he's holding, as well as on some of the baubles on the Christmas tree, and I think he turned out really cute. The next one I did was another of the Art Dot package that I got sent. This one is called Rabbit and Daisies, and again, lots of confetti, as you can imagine, but these weren't very big. I think they were only 35 by 25, so yeah, lots of fun to complete that one, and it was just nice to do like a springtime kit. The next one was one that I completed for DP for Pets last year, and I had this kit forever. I want to say I bought it in like 2020 or 2021, one of those two. And when I saw it, just absolutely fell in love with the imagery. Love all of the feathers coming off of the mane of the horse, and then the kind of background image of the hawk coming in behind it. And I was actually really surprised. I think I avoided this one because I thought it was square, but it was actually round, and it went really quickly. So super happy about the way this one turned out. The next one that I completed was another one of my Spanglers, but I really liked how this one turned out. I especially liked the pink pillow behind him. So super happy that I finished this one. The next one that I finished is called Everyone is Welcome Here, and this is one that I did for Pride, but this was, I think, one of the newest diamond art clubs that I had done, and it was square. A lot of it, including all the white letters, were ABs, and everything was super tight. So it was a little frustrating trying to fit all of the ABs in sometimes, but it was cute when it was finished. This is one where I went in and added in names. So on the books that are in color between the two draglings, you can see I put Poe's name on one for Edgar Allan Poe. One is Lee for Harper Lee because To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books. Oscar Wilde, Emily Bronte, Jane Eyre is another favorite book, and then Homer, because I am a huge fan of any of the Greek myths, the Odyssey, and all of those. So, a few things that I wish I had done differently. Wilde and Bronte's names are a little offset more than I would like. I didn't quite plan out enough to get them in there equally, but I do like the way everything turned out. So, super happy with that one. And that was my third Spangler for the year. Then after that, I got on a blue theme. I don't know why. So this one is Isabella Art Diamonds called Blue. And I don't normally like portraits, but this one just really called to me with all of the colors in her hair and all of the different background colors and her big eyes, which I'm normally not a fan of, but I thought this one just looked really cool. After that, I did one from Diamond Art Club. This one is called Blue Girl, and this one is by Puffy Gator, who I had never done one of her kits before. This was one of my kits that had the dreaded red lines on it from the ink bleeding through. I think it turned out great. If you look really hard, you can still see some of the lines, but for the most part, you can't see them at all. So I was really happy with it, and I think she turned out really cute. And then this last one was another of my craftablies, and this one is called Blue Swallowtail on Pansies. So blue, blue girl, blue swallowtail. But I wanted to do this one for flowers. I think we were doing a diamond paint along. I can't remember now, but I think that's what we were doing. I really like this one. Again, I always love craftably, but I don't usually pick florals, and this one was great. The next one that I did was a Diamond Dots square, and it was a full drill kit. Most of their round ones are partials. The full drills tend to be squares, and it turned out okay. I think it looks good, especially just looking at it here, but up close it was pretty gappy and not something that I was super happy with. So probably diamond dot squares are not going to be something that I do a lot of. I much prefer the rounds. The next one was one that I was doing for Drills and Chills. This one is from the Mermaid Cavern, which is no longer in business. But I really like this one. It's called De los Muertos, and I just really liked the sugar skull, and it was very colorful. Just, it was really appealing. The next one is notable just because it was my very last budget kit. Prior to our move, I either completed or I donated a bunch of my budget kits. So this was the last one that I had saved, and I saved it because it was a Muka. And I think this one was called Laurel. I can't remember. Anyway, like I said, it was my last budget kit, and I wanted to get it done, and it's a Muka, so I finished that one. The next one I finished was my last Spangler, so that meant I got that goal done for the year, and this one is called Treasure Quest. And again, just the English teacher in me was really drawn by all of the books in the painting, and then of course the cookies, but them dressed up as pirates was just too adorable. I ended up adding a lot of ABs into this one because of all the jewels on a lot of the books, and then of course the treasure chest with all the jewels and the jewels on the goblet and things like that. So I had a lot of fun with that one. Then probably my biggest kit of 2025 was Little Baker, and I have to say I love this kit. This was a newer DAC. I think I bought it in 23 or 24. I can't remember which, but I was drawn to the subject matter. I used to do a lot of baking with my grandmother, and cakes and cookies and all that kind of stuff. And so just the subject matter was appealing, and lots of little things that keep you busy. So I could focus on, well, I'm going to work on the plant right now, or I'm going to work on this little cake, or I'm going to work on the jars behind her. This one was frustrating because of the amount of ABs in the window behind her. As I'm sure you've heard many of me say before, the AB coating just adds that smidge more of size to each of the drills, and so because the grid is so tight, trying to get all of them in there and fit it in was not fun sometimes. But I love the colors in this kit, and I absolutely love how she turned out. And it was a newer one, so I got to see how the newer squares for Diamond Art Club compared, and they were nice. The next one I finished was another Diamond Art Club. This one is called Naoko.
I think this is one that I just bought because I was buying some other things. And you know, the whole got to get up to a certain dollar amount so you can get the free shipping sort of thing. But she was cute and colorful, and so I wanted to see how she turned out. This one was round, but absolutely loved her. I think they did a really good job rendering her skin, and I love all of the kind of pastel colors in her wings, juxtaposed against all of the really vibrant colors of all the flowers around her. This next one is a round from Diamond Dots, and this was another kit that I actually didn't realize I had purchased. I was looking to get the hibiscus square, and I had put this one in my cart thinking that I would do it for DP for Veterans and thought I had taken it out, and I hadn't. So I ended up getting it, was surprised when the package arrived and it was in there, but it was poppies and it was round and it was quick and it was Diamond Dots, so it was all good. Then this next to last one was another one of my Stay or Go kits, and this one is a Dreamer Designs called Autumn Sun. And part of the reason I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to keep it was because it was so much orange. I really liked the image, but I just wasn't sure that I would like the finished product, and I actually really love how it turned out. I don't have this one framed yet, but I plan on getting it framed. Probably this one and Little Baker I will both get framed just so I can hang them up. This one can be a decoration that I pull out seasonally. Little Baker, I'm debating on whether or not I want her to hang someplace in our kitchen, so we'll see. I was actually going to paint our kitchen yellow, so now I don't know. We'll see. And then my last painting of the year that I managed to finish before the end of December was Patriotic Camper. And this is one that I started with DP for Veterans and just didn't get it finished. This one was again a lot of ABs. It doesn't look it, but the red and white stripes and a lot of the top of the camper, as well as all the little pennant flags, all have ABs in them. And again, when you have that many ABs, trying to fit them all together just can make things difficult when you're trying to place drills. I am really proud of how it turned out. I think my drill lines turned out really straight, which is something I was worried about. I do still feel like the cup is floating in midair, even though I know that it's supposed to be resting on the arm of the little chair there. But the rest of it turned out okay. I like the little boots. I love the little watermelon in the wagon and the little flowers. So I had a lot of fun doing that one. And that's my last finish for 2025.
So there you go, guys. There are all the kits that I finished, the diamond paintings that I finished in 2025. I actually really enjoyed some of them, and I'm really looking forward to the kits that I'm going to be working on in 2026. The first of which will be my Snowman and Child, and then, of course, my Close Encounters one. That's the one with the alien and the color palette that I love so much. So hopefully you are having a good time with the Winter Diamond Paint Along. I know I've not been present the last week or so, but as you all know, we've had some family things going on. So while I am in the midst of that, I'm just kind of doing what I can. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.